All right.
How dare you?
It is Wednesday night NFL Roundtable Talks. I do not own the rights to this music. And by the way, fuck the Packers.
Fuck the
here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, it is the NFL Roundtable Talks. I have my crew of guests here. I have Dom DeRubis of Sideline Sports, and he says, farewell, Mr. Hawkinson. Shannon G, a Bengals fan. Jonathan Ray, what team do you represent? Jonathan?
He must be like a Packers or a Rams or a Buccaneers fan.
Carolina Panthers, sadly.
Oh, okay. Big Dan? I know
What's
who you
up?
do.
Lions, hell yeah.
And Dan Leonard, who is a Giants and pseudo-Lions fan. Oh, there he goes. He accidentally... Oh, there we go.
Lions. Oh, you mean the Albuquerque Roadrunners?
Brian Roy says, hey, guys. Ken Ballrick, my dad, says, hey, guys. Grandizer 12. Hey, Jeremy B. Hope you are well. Good day, gents.
Yes, sir.
Hitting the like button to hit support. And Micro Mike comes in and says, yo, what's up, Micro Mike? We're going to talk about all the NFL trades that's happened over the past couple of weeks, which is basically my first little subject. So as we go over this, we're going to start at the top and work our way to the bottom. Number one was the Christian McCaffrey move. I think that was 2 weeks ago now because he played last weekend. Panthers to the 49ers.
Can you put it on the a bigger portion of the screen and put all of us on one side?
I wish I let me see if I can change the layout. Just a second.
I know you can.
I just got to find the layout button. Give me a second. No.
Close.
Close, but no sugar.
No, because I'm not doing a share screen. I did it as an overlay.
Oh.
So the only way to make it bigger for me is to go full screen. So Christian McCaffrey was the Panthers to the 49ers 2 weeks ago. The big name that moved yesterday was Bradley Chubb from the Broncos to the Dolphins. And in that trade, let's see, Dolphins to the Broncos got Chase Edmonds and a first round pick.
Yeah.
I think that's the first round pick they had from Houston still, if I remember correctly.
Nope. From San Fran.
From where? Oh, from San Fran. Yep.
Yeah.
When they moved up to get Trey Lance.
Yep, the last one.
Kadarius Toney was 3 weeks ago when he went from the Giants to the Chiefs, which them getting 2 picks, that was highway robbery. Roquan Smith, where the Ravens basically trade raped the Bears for him. Calvin Ridley is the funny one of this group. From the Falcons to the Jaguars, seeing how he's suspended for the season for betting on the Falcons to beat the Jaguars. Chase Claypool, the wide receiver who has not done much, who thinks he's a top 5, but it's only if you count from the bottom up in the wide receiver pool, from the Steelers to the Bears.
That was I know you said Jaguars. I didn't know that was a Falcons-Jaguars game. How are you going to admonish someone and suspend him for a year for betting on his own team?
Same way they gave a lifetime ban to Pete Rose for betting on his own team, but that's another story.
Absolutely.
Roquan Smith, like I said, from the Bears to the Ravens. Robert Quinn from the Bears to the Eagles. Naheem Hines went from the Colts to the Bills, and Zach Moss went to the Colts.
Yeah.
That was actually
Zach Moss
a good
was
one.
actually, I think wasn't he a draft pick by the Colts?
No, he was
No,
drafted.
Bills.
No, he was drafted by the Bills. This is only his third season, if I remember right.
Okay, I was just thinking the Colts wanted him, but they did,
wanted
and the
instead
Bills
of
got him.
Swift.
Fourth-year running back James Robinson of the Jaguars went to the Jets. William Jackson, the cornerback, went from the Commanders to the Steelers. Jacob Martin went from the Jets to the Broncos. Rashad Fenton went from the Chiefs to the Falcons. Jonathan Hankins went from the Raiders to the Cowboys. 4 weeks ago, Robbie Anderson went from the Panthers to the Cardinals, who has yet to show up in a game in 2 weeks. Deion Jones went from the Falcons to the Browns, and Dean Marlowe has returned to the Bills from the Falcons.
I just saw that today, and I was like, wow, a guy that could barely get on the field for us that we cut got traded for a 7th-round pick.
Yeah.
Would have been nice if we could have done that since we're missing our 7th-round pick for next year.
Yeah, that being said, I kind of like having the extra second this year because if we get any compensatory picks whatsoever, which we should, because I doubt we're re-signing Swift because he's questionable again.
They said he should be in better shape than he was last week, which to me means, so he's going to play 20 snaps instead of 15?
Yeah.
Right. There you go. Now I got a few comments to catch up on, and then I'll get everybody. Keegan Eckerd says, hey, guys, a very active trade deadline. James Robinson was first, if I remember correctly. No, the first one was Robbie Anderson. He was the first one traded. Then it was Christian McCaffrey. Then it was James Robinson. Because James Robinson didn't go until Breece Hall got his ACL.
Robbie Anderson got traded less than 24 hours after he got taken off the field.
Yeah, exactly. And my dad says Pete Rose got screwed. And
you know what's sad about Pete Rose?
I wanted to say, this is the most active 3 to 4 weeks before the trade deadline and deadline moves that we have seen in NFL history that I know of.
I love it. I always forget that it's so early in the year.
Oh, thank you, Micro Mike. I love it that you're on YouTube watching too. Because he's working. And he says, Grandizer, what's up, buddy? That being said, what do you think of all the moves overall? Did they? I think the Falcons went ahead and had a fire sale for the most part. Same with the Bears defensively.
Yeah.
Which is, it's weird with the Falcons because we all pretty much expected them to have a top 3 pick. They're in first place and in the playoff race. So now they're just like playing with house money. Why not trade a guy that's not going to play for the whole year?
It's the Bucs fighting for last place in the division.
Right. If Carolina would have won that game last week, Carolina is in second to last in the conference. But if they won that game last week, they'd be in first place in the division. That's how bad that division is.
That's how bad that division is. The NFC South is now the NFC least.
The NFC West isn't good either.
Yeah, not much. No. My dad asked, what did we get for the Hawkinson trade? Well, we traded Hawkinson this coming year's 4th round pick and a conditional pick that if the Vikings win a playoff game, it becomes a 5th round pick. So it's a conditional 4th. If they win a playoff game, it becomes a 5th round pick. That being said, we got a 2nd round pick in this coming draft, which gives us more picks that could be starters. And then we also got a 3rd round pick in the following year's draft.
So we now have 4 of the first 61 picks. I'm sorry, 63.
And not only that,
63.
Think about it. If we get any compensatory picks in the 3rd round whatsoever, we will have 6 picks in the top 100. Last year we had 5.
That'd be awesome.
But you know what's sad about that?
Mm-hmm.
One
of them might not even play this year.
No, that too. I'm saying about those picks next year. We would be better served to use those picks with a different head coach.
Yes.
I'm still debating on that.
I mean,
I will take 2 slices of kneecap with a 1 part blue Kool-Aid and 5 parts vodka, large brain blaster.
I'll break it down in greater depth on Friday.
Okay. That was my question to the Lions fans was the Dan Campbell. I mean, he's a player's coach. And but that's what I'm saying. I mean, did y'all think that this is his last hurrah, or has he got another couple years?
He's got the rest of the year minimally.
Okay.
But
he has another 4 years on his contract.
Okay. All right.
Because Dan Campbell got a 6-year contract and Brad Holmes got a 5, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why did you hire the coach for longer than a GM?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I didn't do it.
Because it's not
hire me as the GM.
No GM with a legitimate resume would take this job. So let's say you hired Holmes first. Are you going to let a first-time GM? Who is he going to hire? Some guy from the Rams? That's
you know who we'd have hired? You know who we'd have hired? Think about this. We'd have ended up with Brandon Staley.
Is Wayne Font still alive?
Oh, if you're out there winning, we miss you. Winningest and losingest coach in team history.
Yeah.
And if you recall, when we made this hire, I said, I want to see the next Wayne Fonts.
And he's been that for the players. We just haven't seen wins yet because we have lack of depth of talent. I'm okay with the deal. 5 in the top 65 to 70, 6 in the top 100, and we could trade back. Absolutely. Lion King, will we have enough money to keep Goff in 2020? We have enough money because the trading of Hawkinson, it actually cleared $13 million in cap this year and another $10 million in cap next year because he had that 9.75 fifth-year option. The good news is that means that we have a total of almost $30 million before the cap goes up now instead of 18.5 because 18.5 is what you need when you have 2 first-rounders to sign all your draft picks.
Didn't Minnesota cover his cap?
His entire salary, and they covered the entire thing. Brad Holmes did it again. He waved his magic talisman in front of the Vikings GM and said, "You will take this whole contract like a Jedi mind trick."
He got that talisman from Joe Dumars, by the way.
Yeah, before Joe Dumars got stupid.
Yeah. Or before he ever had a draft or a free agency period. The only thing Joe Dumars was good at was trading.
Yes. And James, as far as dishing DC goes, I'll go as far as ironclad Stone Cold Lock start next season as head coach for good or ill.
Probably, yeah.
Lion King, he doesn't even make 40 mil. We restructured him. The most he will make is in year 4 of his contract, which is 2024, which is 35 million. He doesn't make 40 million a year.
I hope he's here to make it. Campbell too.
And he said, yeah, the Vikes took the whole salary. Thank you, Irv Smith's ankle. Keegan Eckert says, if you think about who hired Glenn, Chris Spielman was brought in to find us a GM, and then we hired Barry to go get us a coach. That being said, and we had 2 former GMs. What do you think about all the trades that was done, Shannon?
Well, like you said, out of all the trades, the craziest trade was the one that just basically, what was it again? I'm sorry.
Ridley to the Jags?
Yeah, Ridley to the Jags is probably the dumbest trade, but everybody else I thought was pretty solid.
How is that a dumb trade, though? Explain to me.
Because he can't play this year. He will be able to play the last year of his rookie contract next year unless they pick up his 5th-year option. Was he a first-round pick or was he second?
First round.
Ridley?
First. I thought it was first.
Yep, he is a first. So if they don't pick up his 5th-year option next season, that means he's just a 1-year rental. because he can't play this year.
Yeah, but
That's why it doesn't make sense. Jonathan Ray, what do you think about them?
He's muted.
Who's
Oh,
that?
there he goes.
Who is it again?
All the trades that happen. What did you think about them?
I think it was one of the biggest trades deadlines probably in a good while for sure. But to me, my biggest winner would be Baltimore's defense. Acquiring Roquan Smith was probably, to me, the biggest move of all the trades.
Roquan Smith does two very good things to help that defense that they struggle with. He covers very well as a linebacker, and he tackles very well in the run game.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be nice to have?
Yes, that's
Baltimore was missed very bad. It was that
like I
go-to
said.
outside linebacker.
Yep.
The rest of the division's not dumb enough to trade inside the division. Get on.
Clearly, they wouldn't have done it for J-Mo because they went and traded for a different receiver that can actually play this year.
I'll have to say, Hawkinson, that whole move was probably the most shocking. I didn't expect Hawkinson to go to Minnesota whatsoever.
What was shocking about it?
Dad says, I think the 49ers made out, in his opinion. The only thing I didn't like about the 49ers trade, they already gave up their first-round pick to Miami so they could get Lance. And now they give up their second, their third, their fourth, and their seventh this year. Basically, John Lynch is pulling a Les Snead, and he said, fuck those picks.
He hasn't had much luck with draft picks.
Frisco's putting a lot of faith in McCaffrey to stay healthy. No, you know what the funniest trade was? Miami trading for Jeff Wilson because I guess they decided they didn't have enough injury-prone San Francisco 49ers running backs on the roster. So they went and got another one.
James Burgess and Roquan only cost them $500,000 against the cap because they got the Bears to eat $5.5 million of his salary. Although he's not getting a deal to the end of the year.
Now that I think about it, because I was saying backstage, like apparently Miami has declared themselves contenders. The moves kind of make sense because Mostert's going to get hurt, so they went and got another running back. Mm-hmm. Tua already has problems staying healthy, plus now he's got concussions hanging over his head, so they went and got a premier-ish pass rusher. I think they're going to try to win, close, low-scoring games.
And James Burgess says, brilliant move by Baltimore. Absolutely. They kind of stole him. Didn't they get him for like a 4th and a 6th or something like that? Something stupid?
They go with something crazy.
It wasn't a lot.
3rd and 5th, I thought.
Yeah, 3rd and 5th. That's what it was.
What, Baltimore?
Yeah.
No, Baltimore traded a 2nd and a 5th, I believe.
2 and a 5.
Okay. Yeah. Still, that's stealing a first round, a top 5 middle linebacker, off-ball linebacker in the
Rat Turds are still going to lose in the first round, so it don't matter.
Yo, Smoke, should we draft a QB? If so, why or why not? Well, I'm going back to exactly what Brad Holmes said last year. He said, you build the team through the draft, and once the team is finished, you get your QB. Is this a finished team as of this season?
No.
Ask anybody on the panel, is the Lions a finished team right now?
No.
The offense is finished enough, but I get his point. Like, you have to go get a linebacker. I think you just take best defensive player available.
Yes, I am BDPA throughout the whole draft. Even with the first pick, I'm taking Will Anderson Jr. or the next best DN linebacker there.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, Anderson, if he's still there. Hopefully this draft class is strong enough.
Number 1, Will Anderson, we get him.
Yeah, I would just take him. But that's the thing. I think this draft class is strong enough. We can get a haul for that number 1 pick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if somebody if we get that haul, like when we were doing the mocks the other night, and the Panthers or Seahawks haul, that Seahawks haul is nuts.
I think we could probably get Carolina to trade up, even if it's only 1 spot,
to make sure they get their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a quarterback's a must-have in Carolina.
But wait, they've got 2 out of the top 5 picks from that draft class.
And Dom, you have a fan. Grandizer says, thank you for saying that. I really dislike the Jeff Wilson Jr. trade. I asked the 49ers content creator about Jeff Wilson. He said, stupid trade on the Finns part. But it's more for depth, just in case when Mostert goes down. And it's whether or not Jeff Wilson can stay healthy after that. And
I mean, if he could stay healthy, he reunites with his former coach from the 49ers, Mike McDonald. He was their run game coordinator. He could do well for him. So
not even close to finish. We have starter holes in many places and paper thin for depth in most other spots. Absolutely. And my dad says absolutely not. And Grandizer says, I have been arguing with some Finns fans about that trade. An often injured running back who fumbles a lot, who was an odd man out, who probably would have ended up on the 49ers practice squad. Those are all very valid points.
He started in some games this year.
He goes, Wilson. Maybe wait till Goff's last year and trade him to Indy. They trade for everyone. Absolutely.
There you go.
So you wait till 2024 and you get the buttload of picks from Indy.
Yeah, you draft defense with the first 3 or 4 picks, and you can get a quarterback to develop behind Goff, 3rd rounder later.
Absolutely. That's where I'm at. Is I would love to see a mid to late round pick on a quarterback that has some athleticism and some QB pocket presence and makes good decisions. Somebody like Grayson McCall out of Coastal Carolina.
The other night, I was like, hey, that's the Lions' next franchise quarterback. Let me see how this guy does.
And the Lions have already been there to watch 3 of his games this year. I'm not saying that he's the only one they're watching, but he's the only one whose name is recognizable on that team.
Yep.
I like him and then the Utah quarterback. But McCall first, but yeah.
So you don't like Hendon Hooker?
Well, he could end up being the number 1 quarterback off the board when it's all said and done.
I think Carolina is Hendon Hooker.
And Grandizer says Miami has running backs right now. Raheem Mostert, Alec Ingold, fullback, Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, LaMichael Perrine, which is Sam G. Perrine's little brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they don't even use the last 3.
Right.
Apparently they didn't think they had enough.
A prospect to grow would be nice at QB. Lion King said, Big Dan, who in the 3rd round? Grayson McCall of Coastal Carolina. Watch his game film, not highlights. The kid makes all the right reads and fits the ball in tight windows like good quarterbacks do. And he has great pocket awareness. Yes, he does struggle when under pressure, but behind our O-line, the least sacked quarterback in the league right now is Jared Goff.
Right. Lion King, the 2 quarterbacks, one Jeremy just mentioned, Grayson McCall, and the other one that I like is Utah's Cameron Rising. He's pretty good, too. Watch his game film.
They should have beat Florida.
And Keegan Eckert says, Finns are smart. They traded Chase Edmonds, and after him, they had no one. That's why it's smart to go get a running back. But they still have Gaskin. But if you have a solid backup, why trade for a running back, though? That is what he's griping about, Keegan Eckert. They went for an oft-injured, fumble-prone running back as a backup who's probably going to sit on the practice squad on his team he came from. And they might have been just able to pick him up for next to nothing off of that. That being said, anybody else having Dan, what are your thoughts on all the trades? Leonard.
Come on.
He's muted.
Yep. He must be in a phone call. What about you, Big Dan? What do you think about all the trades that have been out?
I like them. My favorite one was Chubb to the Dolphins. That should help them out. Like I said earlier, Wilson reuniting with Mike McDonald in Miami. If he could stay healthy, he could help them out too.
That's why they made that trade.
Yep. And then there's the funny trade of frickin' Ridley betting on his former team, and now he's a Jag.
Yep. James Burgess says, I've seen the kid from Utah, and he does look good. I will have to check out McCall, though. Thanks for the head up. The biggest thing that Coastal Carolina is missing right now is a tight end like Isaiah Likely, because they had such a chemistry there between McCall and Likely. It was palpable the last 2 years there. And Keegan Edgar, I think we get a QB in the 5th. If not, I expect us to grab a QB in the next draft. And our buddy Dan Campbell comes in. I will gay this turnaround.
Okay.
I think he meant to say get, and he spelled gee. I will gee this turned around.
The Y is next to the T.
Yeah, it is. I know what he meant. I just had to say it as gay. Walter Football also pointed out to that about the Finns that there are options out there as far as running backs that don't come at the cost of a 2023 5th round pick. Absolutely. That being said, it is time for the weekly pickings. And James Urda said Likely had a very nice welcome to the NFL game this past weekend. Yes, he did. He looked pretty good when Andrews went down. They got us very solid. I like to smell others' farts. We stink. Great name. And I would have asked the Rams if they would have taken a 5th for Cam Akers, but started a 7th. Cam Akers almost was on the move, but the trade got declined, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think so.
That being said, it is time to do the weekly pick'ems. I'm going to bring up the slate of games here.
Oh.
Just got to get into here. All right. Thursday night, we got the Eagles at Houston. Raise your hand if you're picking the Texans. Anyone?
Where are they playing?
Philadelphia. It's in Houston, if that's anything.
Doesn't matter. It's not.
No.
I doesn't say. Okay, so we got Philly in the first one. Then we got LA Chargers at Atlanta. Chargers. I can't pick them. Traveling east 3 time zones, and they've struggled in their own time zone against people in their division and weak teams outside of their division. I think they may get smoked by Atlanta.
I'll take the Chargers.
Woo! Dan? But either one of us.
I'll still take the Chargers.
Yeah, me too.
Atlanta deserves to lose after last week.
Oh, you're just mad because they beat you.
An illegal celebration penalty. He was technically off the field.
DC 8091 says, "Men, I may need you to help me cheat." What, in your fantasy? Fantasy league? He says, "Go Texans." And he put a laughy face on there. I'll go LA Chargers for no good reason. We had wild card teams on the East Coast. And they are having a little conversation back and forth. So, that being said, the next game is Miami at Chicago. Is anybody picking the Bears?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Give me the Fins.
Give me the Fins. Hear that, Grandizer? We all pick the Fins universally. TJ Hawkinson pops in. I'm going to burn your asses. If you're on the field in week 17, I expect it.
Right.
And James Rizzo says Miami. Yippers. Next up, we got Green Bay at Detroit, but we're going to hold off on making that pick. Colts at New England. Who do you got, Dom?
Patriot.
Is Ellinger still starting? Colts at Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, even if Matt Ryan starts Patriots, neither one of those teams are worth a thing. But it's at the Patriots and an inexperienced quarterback. Jonathan Taylor isn't for sure even going to be back, and they just traded their number one backup. Granted, they did get Zach Moss, but yeah, Patriots.
Yeah. Patriots.
Patriots.
The Patriots.
The Patriots.
Patriots.
DC 8091. TJ Hawkinson says the DC 8091. You're not running up behind David tonight. LOL. Talking about Pike. I have. Is Ryan playing or Sam Eilinger?
That's what I'm saying. I think Ellinger is playing again.
Oh yeah, then New England's going to win no matter who they throw in at quarterback. But next game,
quarterback.
They benched Matt Ryan and tried to disguise it as an injury.
Right. Buffalo at the New York Jets.
I wish the Jets would, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Dom?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Jonathan Ray?
Buffalo.
Dan? Big Dan?
Buffalo.
Leonard?
Yeah.
And everybody else is agreeing with us. The Bills are not to be trifled with. Bills Mafia. Buffalo. Hutchison has 5 sacks, 22 pressures. Both are most among all rookies. That being said, the next game is the Minnesota Vikings at the Washington Foreskins. Dom?
I'm going Foreskins.
Whoa.
Shannon?
Vikings.
Jonathan?
Definitely the Vikings.
Big Dan?
Minnesota.
I like that one.
Leonard?
Vikings.
You know what? I just for shits and giggles and irony, I'm going to say Foreskins. You know why? Because that means the Lions are the only team that beat the Washington Commanders in our division.
Mm-hmm.
But is it also because of the Hawkinson trade?
No, has nothing to do with the trade.
Okay.
It has to do. It has to do with. I would like that to be the case where that way, when everybody says, "But your team was worse than ours," I said, "Yeah, but we beat a worse team than you."
That win against the Foreskins starting to look better and better every week.
If Dan Campbell fires me, I will expose his ass, and he knows it. Aaron Glenn says. Maybe the Skins have a yay. Dan is selling the team psyched up super game. Absolutely. Vikes like to see Hawk have a bad game, but they still play well. DC 8091. Now I'm out drinking with friends, and you're at home making up fake accounts. I don't even know who it is. It's bullshit with them. But the last 1 o'clock game on the schedule is the Raiders at Jacksonville. So we got the crappy Raiders versus Crapsonville. It's Toilet Bowl of the Week game number 1. Who you got, Dom?
God. It's at Jacksonville?
Yeah.
It don't matter.
I mean, I guess Jacksonville.
I'm about ready to get out a quarter.
Can you skip me, or can I say tie?
Okay, you can say tie. That's fine.
I got the Jags.
Okay, Shannon.
Why ask if you got the fucking tie if you can just pick the Jags anyway?
I'll go with the Jags too.
I'll take the Jags as well.
I'm going to go Raiders.
Okay. Big Dan.
Raiders.
Leonard.
Jaguars.
Jonathan.
I'll take the Jags. ETN has a big day.
I say Jaguars as well. Aaron Glenn says, Jeremy, I think Brockers is better than Kenny Clark. I think you've been smoking some really good shit.
I need some of that.
And our first 4 o'clock game is the Seattle Seahawks travel to Arizona to take on Kyler Murray playing Modern Warfare and not watching game-filled Cardinals with the Kingsbury collapse at the same time. Who do you got, Dom?
Seahawks, the Eugene Cyril Smith III redemption tour continues.
Okay, Shannon?
Yeah, the Sea Chickens.
Jonathan?
I think I'll take the Cards.
Big Dan?
You don't sound very confident, sir.
I will also take them Sea Chickens.
Leonard?
Fuck Geno Smith, but I'm taking him to win.
Leonard is as bad as Andrew with picking against whoever Geno Smith plays for.
We got another great comment from James
I just took the damn Seahawks to win, but I still said fuck that guy.
You're right. I got you. Aaron's been smoking weed with Willie Nelson.
I wish I could.
Keegan Eckert says Cards. Arizona is good at home. That being said, the Kingsbury collapse is in full effect. It's past week 7. Weeks 1 through 7, he has an 85% win rate. Weeks 8 through the end,
it's like 300.
He's 17 and 45.
Talking about a meltdown.
Oh, I know this isn't Mike Valenti. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell suck. Bring back Bob Quinn. That is not Mike Valenti. He did a happy dance when we fired those guys.
The common misconception is that Valenti hates the Lions. He doesn't hate the Lions. He hates that we're so hapless and that a big part of his job is to cover them. He wants us to do good. You don't think he's tired of bitching about the Lions and having people call in and bitch about the Lions every Monday?
That being said, I am choosing Seattle as well. Then we got 2 hapless teams in their division. We have last place LA Rams versus last place Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. Who you got, Dom?
Rams. Tom Brady continues to reel over the divorce proceedings.
Shannon?
Yeah, for my fantasy team, I hope the Rams win.
I have Matt Stafford as well. I benched him last week for Tua. I'll be benching him again this week.
And Mike Valenti says, I hate management.
It really is him.
Jonathan, who you got?
I'll take give me the Rams. Tom Brady and his keeps rolling.
I'm going to take the Succaneers. Let's make that pick from the Rams even better.
Yes. Leonard.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers, I think.
I'm taking the Bucs too. DC8091 says the real Mike Valenti is too stupid to make his own account. That's funny. Jared Goff says, I wish I was in TJ Hawkinson's shoes. Trade me. Yeah, right. Keegan Eckert has the Rams. Let me see who I took. I took Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers because I want the pick to be better. That's right.
Yeah, right now we have 1-14 if the draft started today. So.
Yep. So that would improve to somewhere around 11 or 10. 2 picks in the top 10. I like that idea.
That'd be insane, but yeah, I'd like it too.
Then you could get the best linebacker at the first pick or DN. And then you could take the best safety or corner to play opposite Okuda with the next pick.
Trade out of that one to Jonathan Ray's Carolina Panthers so they can make sure they get C.J. Stroud. Enjoy that.
We don't want Stroud.
Bryce Young, he's a midget.
We want him to
Yeah, Bryce. Well, you can have him too. Then we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs for the Sunday night game. Who you got, Dom?
Chiefs by 40. Oh, you know what? I didn't even look. How did Willis do last week?
He threw for under 100 yards. I think he threw for like 60 yards, had a rushing touchdown, I think, but they fed the ball to Derrick Henry like a motherfucker in that game.
Okay, yeah, 6 of 10 for 55 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Derrick Henry, 32 for 219. So it's like that end of the season game. It was just earlier in the year. Derrick Henry got 200 yards against the Texans.
They should just fucking feed Derrick Henry the ball every fucking time, every game. Don't even throw the shit.
So he can get hurt.
And when he gets tired, put in Hassan Haskins and feed him the ball.
Damn right.
Because he basically runs the same way.
Sign a bunch of offensive lineman to play tight end to run a jumbo set.
Haskins, I don't even know if he's active. He didn't have a carry. The backup running back had 83 yards on 8 carries.
I bet you Maroons. Yeah, he can't even spell moron right. This guy's real intelligent. I bet you Maroons wish you hired me instead of Brad Holmes. Bear down. No, not really.
Huh.
Ryan Poles.
No, because you're the only franchise in the NFL worse at drafting quarterbacks than we are. Sir.
Facts. The Bears have yet to had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards.
Ever.
In their entire history.
Jay Cutler couldn't even get 4,000.
Doesn't the Giants do the same thing with Saquon? Yes, they do, and they are successful at it. And as long as they stay successful, they'll keep doing it.
I'm going to say this. The Titans still have better wide receivers than the Giants.
They do.
Not saying much, sir.
It's Ryan. I love
Traylon Burks is on IR.
James
so
Ryan.
Why did the Giants with no wide receivers trade one?
James Burgess comes in and
cancer.
Hey, James Burgess comes in and says, "Is Ryan Poles' middle name Smokes?" That's great.
To elaborate on that, Kadarius Toney played 2 snaps all season. The guy bitches and moans, doesn't want to practice, doesn't know the playbook. The fact that we were able to get a 3rd and a 5th out of him, we damn robbed the Chiefs.
Sounds like Mike Williams.
Sounds like Kenny Galladay is last year in Detroit.
You know the best thing about Madden? They let me trade fucking Kenny Galladay back to the Lions for Amon-Ra St. Brown every time.
Oh, how nice.
That is not okay.
It's hilarious, though.
I'm sending John Madden an angry email.
Let me know if you respond, because I'll be well worried.
Okay, who's everybody got for the Tennessee Chiefs game? Dom said Chiefs. Shannon?
Chiefs.
Jonathan?
Chiefs.
Big Dan?
Chiefs, because Malik Willis is who we thought he was.
Leonard?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs, but Malik Willis is still better than Jared Goff, Dan.
No.
Oh, hell.
No.
You guys should have took him at 2. Better than Hutch.
Jared Goff is better left-handed.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff's not left-handed.
Yeah, but Jared Goff's stupid. I want to punch him in his stupid face every time I see him do an interview.
He does look a little bit slow,
Ryan
and I'm not going to lie.
Where do you think we need the most help on this current Lions team? Defense.
Everywhere.
Without a doubt, defense.
Not O-line. Defense.
Not O-line.
Defense.
Maybe running back and defense.
Coaches, front office.
That's why, like we said, beat what? BPDA?
BDPA. Best defensive player available for the whole, for at least the first 2 minimum.
Four picks. If you go defense with those 4 picks in the first 2 rounds,
Mm-hmm.
Then
Then you can throw in. You can get a running back or an offensive guard or a quarterback, whatever, in the third round.
Some depth on the O-line because never healthy. Where are we at? Did the number go up yet? 24, right? 24 and counting?
26.
24 games.
26 games now. Yeah, it's 26.
Wait, 17.
Wow, that's horrible. Like
17 and 7. Is
8.
20.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Say 8, 7. I forgot it's week 8. I'm adding weeks. This will be 25.
We'll see another one because Vitai's not playing.
Vitai won't play the season.
You can just call it 34 right now.
Right.
We're counting week by week.
James Burgess says, Brian Roy, linebacker, safety, cornerback. The defense is historic bad, like Polish soldiers in 1939 bad.
But you know what the thing is? In what will essentially be 2 lost seasons, all those injuries on the O-line made our backups better.
Yes.
Those injuries at safety. Look at Kirby Joseph now. There's worse things. I mean, injuries have forced us to play our young guys.
I'm taking Kansas City in a landslide. And the Monday night football game is the Baltimore Ravens going into New Orleans to face the Beige Water Pistol. Now I'm almost lost it. Who you got, Dom?
I'm actually going to take the Saints.
Are you really?
No, like Baltimore's in first. No one, absolutely no one in that division seems terribly concerned about winning that division. This will prove it.
Shannon?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Beige Water Pistol because I just can't stand the rat turds.
I know. He said the water pickles, right?
The water pickles.
Yeah. Pickle. He don't fucking know. Saints
Plus,
by 50.
Lamar Jackson's not really that good in prime time.
Oh, God. That was choke-worthy. That's what she said.
Yes.
Jonathan Ray, who do you got? The Saints or the Ravens?
For fantasy purposes, I really need the Ravens to light up the scoreboard.
Big Dan.
Ravens.
Leonard?
Saints. Mark Andrews is still hurt.
Yeah, and Isaiah likely looked better than Mark Andrews in his first game.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Ravens because I need the defense and Duvernay to have a really good game.
Yes, I need Duvernay to double what he done last week.
He needs more targets.
Motherfucker.
My buddy that's a Ravens fan was bitching about the Ravens not going and getting a wide receiver, and I'm like, why would you? Like, Lamar Jackson cannot maximize any talent at wide receiver.
No, he can't.
Wait, bring that back up, Jeremy.
I'll be honest.
Heavy offense.
Okay. I like Campbell, but he will get fired because once the Lions draft a QB, that will be more losses, and that will cause him to be fired. What's your opinion? I don't think they're drafting a QB in the first round because of exactly what Brad Holmes said. Brad Holmes says you build the team through the draft first. Once the team is ready, you draft your quarterback. This team isn't ready. If anybody thinks this team is ready for a first-round quarterback, I don't know where you see this team is ready.
The worst-case scenario, because you're still tied to Goff for at least one more year.
Right. Because it only clears $10 million in cap next year.
Plus,
period.
I don't want any of those quarterbacks.
Don't lie, Tom.
No.
None of them
want
first
Richardson. I don't want Will Levis. I don't want C.J. Stroud. And I don't want the next version of Kyler Murray, Bryce Young.
Yeah, I was going to say all for obvious reasons. Ohio State quarterback.
Right.
Midget from Alabama. Tim Couch Jr.
I really would take C.J. Stroud, and I don't like Ohio State quarterbacks either. But I think
no, there's something in the water.
Nah.
Give me Hendon Hooker.
And the rest of them, dude.
Yes. He's gonna. Well, you know what? I kind of hope Tennessee loses the rest of their games, but he looks good and like it's on the defense. So because if they get into the playoffs, he'll be that guy that slides way up into the first round and gets overdrafted. But yeah, Hooker's the only one I like. I might take him in the second round.
Okay.
I think Hooker could possibly end up being the number one QB off the board over Stroud when it's all said and done.
Before I announce our last game of the week, which is the Green Bay Fudge Packers versus the Detroit Football Lions, if they can figure out how to play that word in the middle between Detroit and Lions. Who you got, Dom?
Lions. I'm doubling down. We're sweeping the Packers this year.
Shannon?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions.
Jonathan.
Or I'm just going to keep picking the Lions till they win.
Give me Aaron.
Okay. You're going to take Aaron. Okay. Aaron and the Fudge Packers. You got it. Big Dan.
For reverse juju purposes, I'm no longer circling wins for our team, so I'm going to take the Packers.
Leonard.
I'm taking a tie. They both suck.
You're not wrong.
I'm picking the Lions. I tried the reverse psychology the last 2 weeks. It didn't work. I'm picking Lions this week.
It's my turn to try it this week. So.
We beat Washington. Green Bay didn't, so that means we're better than them, right?
Comment. Look at this. I'll take the Lions because I am stubborn and Rodgers hates life these days. Brian Roy says Lions. And James Burgess, I love this comment. Drafting a QB right now, we'd kill him even if a star Manning family type was coming out.
True. Good point.
Lions fans would kill them. But here's my thing. You had a bunch of good quarterbacks in the first round this year, right?
Like 3, maybe 4.
Next year you got Caleb Williams. That's the only one worth a damn in my book. But do you really think you're going to have a pick high enough to take him next year?
I don't want to. I don't want to take a quarterback high in any draft.
Third round or later, so we can develop him, and he can start in 2-3 years when Goff is gone.
There's no proof that you guys can develop a quarterback, though.
I like our chances with that O-line.
And I like our chances with Mark Brunell.
And you do have weapons around him.
That is weird.
And we have weapons. And the weapons don't even matter that much because the O-line is that good. Because when your O-line's that good, the holes are bigger. The quarterback has more time to throw. The routes run can be sloppier because they have more time to break it off. Like, I'm sorry. If people think Cooper Kupp is, the second coming of Christ at wide receiver, he's not. He's just a good route runner to get open, and look at him now with no left tackle. Look at him. Look at Matt Stafford now.
True.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as the game has changed, it has not changed at all. One in the trenches. Run the ball. Stop the run.
I'm trying to see who's commenting that I can't see on the video, so I'm going to Facebook for a second.
Yeah, Stroud can run, but don't. That's not good. Young is the only quarterback I would draft, but he is small.
Bryce Young is the next Kyler Murray, if not worse.
Commenting that I can't see on the video, so I'm going to Facebook for a second.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to a mobile quarterback, just not in the first round. And like I said, hopefully this draft class proves allegedly strong enough to where Jonathan Ray and his Carolina Panthers were like, oh, we'll give you 47 draft picks to move up one spot.
And Brian Roy says Lions should win as long as we don't shoot ourselves in the paw. Don't you mean win?
The guy who's me and Jeremy mentioned, Grayson McCall, and the Utah quarterback are mobile-ish.
Yeah.
Grayson's mobile. Oh, dear goodness. Here we go.
4.6, 5, 4.7, 40. Grayson McCall.
Well, if you guys think Brunell could develop quarterbacks, then why not take Anthony Richardson in the third?
Because because the next time someone develops a quarterback from the state of Florida, it will be the first time. They're way worse than Ohio State quarterbacks because that's a whole fucking state. Tell me one good one. It's a trick question. You can't.
Okay, I got one for you. There, wait, I got one for you, Dan. You know what Anthony Richardson is? He's Malik Willis on a good team.
I was just about he's fucking Malik Willis. This dude is barely 50% completion percentage in college.
With one of the worst wide receivers in the country.
Florida's never had the worst wide receivers in the country.
Go look at that again. Go look at those guys, man. They're horrible. The motherfuckers can't even run the right routes.
It's Florida quarterbacks, and that low completion percentage is like Michigan running backs with that 5.5 yards a carry.
By the way, Craig Potvin, I had specifically said we should take either the best DN or the best linebacker if we have the first pick overall, and then the best cornerback or safety next.
Literally whoever. Like, the boards are going to change some.
Yeah.
But unless Will Anderson falls way the fuck down.
And Kyle Trask is behind Brady and hasn't
one.
played his first game.
I would love Kyle Trask. He's the one I thought that could maybe buck the trend.
I said it too.
He probably will when Brady fucking just goes the fuck home.
He has no home to go to. Oh, you mean his apartment?
His retirement home.
Attention.
He's going to get a townhouse in assisted living. Because the way he's been sacked this year, it's headed that way.
Damn.
Hey,
he's never had to run like this his whole career.
Yeah, their O-line is bad.
Hold on, I got to ask Dan a quick question, guys.
He's ever had.
Okay, wait. Let's hear it.
Dan, are you recording AEW?
No.
Lamar Jackson's in the front row, and Chris Jericho just told me he was going to whoop his ass.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Get him, Jericho.
That is awesome.
Is he still rocking the Snoop Dogg curls and the quilted flannel?
He looked like freaking Ice Cube out of freaking the NWA video. No lie.
You had to catch him first.
No, did you see it earlier? He posted it. He was Rodney from Baby Boy with the window rolled down.
Yes.
He made it through the 14 games this week. That being said, I had 10 wins last week. How did everybody else fare?
Not as good.
I went 9-4, 9-5.
I think I had 8, 7 or 8.
5.
Hell, I don't know. I wish somebody would tell me how I did.
I honestly, I didn't keep track of mine, so.
I did go. I did go in college pick'em though.
There is no DT coming out that is quite as good as Sue. Jalen Carter is the best one available, but with the teams that are going to be at the top of the draft, more of them need a QB than we will.
Yeah.
Well, and
Carolina,
this is what I've been thinking about for several weeks now. Like, who's going to be at the top that needs a QB? Carolina, Texans,
and he's 32, and yes, Carolina. He's having a great season. But guess who else? The
Denver?
Seahawks.
Oh,
Seahawks and Denver, both.
Yeah. Denver can't spend a first-round pick on a quarterback now.
Yeah, they ain't got a first-round pick for the next 2 years. That's why the Seahawks can.
They don't have
Did you guys hear that Denver tried to trade Russell Wilson back to Seattle for Geno Smith?
That's not true, but I wish it was.
I wouldn't be shocked, but
the only person that loves the Geno Smith story right now more than me is the guy in the bottom right corner. His name's Dan Leonard, and he loves Geno Smith.
He loves Geno Smith like I love. Let me think.
Yeah.
An enema.
I don't understand his irrational. Like, he hates Geno Smith so much. Like they got to the Super Bowl with him and he threw 5 picks.
Dude, it's so much worse than that.
Yeah. Hey, I got one better than that one, and Dom was the one that brought it to my attention. How about back in '98 when we drafted Terry Fair over Randy Moss?
Why would you even say that? This is what I drink.
See, that's stupid drafting. My thing was just ruining somebody's Iron Man streak.
When we took Terry Fair, I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
I knew who he
Conor
was.
McGregor voice.
I knew who he was.
Who the fuck?
It made it worse because I had seen Randy Moss play his last collegiate game. But honestly, at the time, we didn't necessarily need a wide receiver.
Well, Terry Fair was a defensive back for the University of Tennessee and just basically a special teams guy and a good defensive back. So I don't know why the hell y'all drafted him over Randy Moss either. And I'm a Vols fan.
Because we had Morton and Moore.
Yeah, but you'd have been great if you'd had Morton. If you had Morton and Moore and Randy Moss. Come on now.
You don't take Terry Fair there, but I get why they didn't take Randy Moss. I'm not mad. I mean, I am mad that we didn't take him, but only because we took Terry Fair. We took Bryant Westbrook in the top 5.
Idiots.
Oh, I remember that one too. That was bad.
The only thing we're worse at than drafting running backs in the second round is corners in the first round.
Oh, shit.
It's not as bad as Carolina drafting J.C. Horn over Micah Parsons.
That was bad. That was
bad. Very fair.
Oh, God.
That one hurt too, Jeremy. Terry effing Fair. God damn it.
Go to comment that one.
What if the Lions don't get a quarterback in next draft and stay with Goff next year? That's actually what I want them to do. At Brian Roy, we're fine. We're still building with kids. Goff is good enough to get through the growing pains. Absolutely. This is what I said. We should keep Goff through next season and then trade him away with Indianapolis in 2024 to get another first-round pick.
He's not old enough to be traded to Indy. What the hell's wrong with you?
He will be 30 then, so yes, he is.
That's still like 4 years too young for them, okay?
Anyone over a Hawaii player. Absolutely. And Grandizer says, have a good night, gents. Other show that I moderate for is about to stop. My hour limit is up. Cheers. Thank you, Grandizer. Appreciated you coming in.
I don't understand.
That being said,
anyway.
I'm going to go ahead and take care of some
you pretty much
money.
have to keep Goff no matter what. Because if he sucks, no one's going to trade for him. You're not going to cut him. And if he's good, why would you try to trade or cut him?
For someone better, with upside.
Stop with your Jared Goff hate.
Right now, because Bailey's
it's not his fault. Both of his parents had small hands.
All right. I want to talk about my sponsors. A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you. The one in Cucaulin on Old Cucaulin Road, the one in Bay City on Broadway, and the one in Saginaw on Genesee Street. Stop on in for great used tires at a great price and great prices on new tires as well as excellent service, as Dom DeRubis can attest to.
Can attest to all 3, new, used, and service.
And also, Mad Lab Custom Creations. They are on Facebook. That is Dan Leonard's baby, where he does custom paint jobs on your signed mini and full-size helmets, and he's also getting into hockey helmets. That being said, if you want to start a collection, it's a great way to start one because you can start adding to your personal collection by getting into one of his breaks. Check him out. And during that time, we had a comment come in. Maybe Mel Kiper wasn't crazy about getting Sauce Gardner. No, he wasn't crazy. We all said Sauce Gardner was going to be that guy because the kid hasn't given up a receiving touchdown since
high school.
Oh, time out. If you look at his freaking stat line this year, they credited him with 1 touchdown given up. And then they tried to give him another one this week, and he freaking went on Twitter and goes, listen, I let you slide with the first one that was on the other guy. Not on this one. And he pulled him out on it.
He gave him the Shaggy. Wasn't me.
I got you some Jerry B.
How are you going to credit me with that when I left my guy to go tackle that one?
That logo makes me think of Frank and Don. James, so does Zach Wilson.
You know what?
Indy does hunt cougars for QBs.
Yeah.
And James Burgess says, "Oh shit, yeah, no joke. Still funny as hell."
Indy's gonna go get. I said it a couple weeks ago, and I forget.
Aaron Rodgers.
No. Aaron Rodgers isn't washed enough. Yeah, not washed enough. Neither is Brady.
Flacco makes sense. Jimmy Garoppolo makes sense.
Brian Roy says Shannon are taking a dump again.
I could see Garoppolo because as long as Lance is healthy, he's got to play.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That whole Trey Lance thing, did you see today how they put up what the Dolphins did with those 3 first-round picks?
Yeah.
One was Tyreek Hill, one was Jalen Waddle, the other one Bradley Chubb. They fleeced them big time.
Oh, yeah. That being said, I want to make an announcement that tomorrow night is my first college playoffs and draft profile show. I will be hosting with Jonathan Ray right here on this channel. So tune in at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. If anyone wants to be a part of it, let me know.
Georgia beats Tennessee.
Georgia beats Tennessee, he says. Yeah, I expect that, actually.
Tennessee shocks the world.
If that happens, the whole college football playoff thing is going to go up in smoke.
I'm going to tell you this year. Listen to me right now. Excuse me, gentlemen. I know most of y'all are up there in the north.
I'm in South Carolina.
Well, but anyway, I said most, and I heard. I believe you said Tennessee would shock the world, right?
Yes, I did.
So, I mean, the thing of it is at the first of the year, if you'd have told me Tennessee was 8-0 6 months ago, I said y'all was smoking crack. But my mom and I and my family have had season tickets since I was 7 years old, in the mid to late 80s, and the last 15 to 20 years have really sucked. So even if Georgia does win, if the Vols play close, I think the Vols, Bama, and Alabama and Georgia get in the playoffs and beat one of your Michigan, Ohio State, because y'all don't, especially Ohio State, don't play no damn body. So, and I mean, it's going to be an all SEC championship. So, anyway, it don't matter to me. I was expecting the Vols to go 10-2 and go to the Sugar Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm happy with where we're at right now. As long as the game is tight and hard fought and close, and nobody gets fucked because of, pardon my language, because the referees and everybody, Bama fans are like, well, we got 17 penalties. Well, how many games have y'all played in 20 years that y'all didn't get 17 freaking penalties? Bama. There's not very many in my lifetime that I've seen Bama not get penalties in their favor. So when they got 17 in Knoxville and Tennessee only got 4 or 5, it's about damn time. But anyway. So anyway, I just hope we finish out the season well. If we lose to Georgia, we kick everybody else's ass and get in the college football playoffs and have Georgia or Bama whoop their ass again, then win the Natty. I don't give a damn about the SEC title.
Hey, Shannon.
Yeah.
That talk is for tomorrow night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just saying that show is for tomorrow night. So if you want to talk college football, I'll send you a link.
All right. I'll be there.
Okay. Patriots Media, Jordan G-Dub says, send me the link for that. I'll talk about draft. Just seen your message on Facebook and couldn't join tonight. Absolutely, I'll have you join us tomorrow night. That being said, this has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. Anyway, any final thoughts as we go around, Dom?
I'm kind of sad, not even disappointed, but shocked. No Homer Lions fan came on complaining about the Hawkinson trade because it was the right move. It was the only move because it in some ways it corrected. Thing I was thinking about, what did the other, whatever trade offers we got outside of the division, what were they? Obviously the Vikings,
they couldn't have been as good.
Was better.
Yeah, I think it's because the Vikings offered to take on that contract. And eliminate our dead cap. If anybody else would have given us anything close to that, we'd have taken it because we would have taken it outside of the division. That's the only reason we made that trade.
I don't know that there's a reason that it was a bad trade. The reasons it was a good trade, we drafted him too high, inconsistent, can't stay healthy, and supposedly he wanted top 3, top 5 tight end money. Farewell, Mr. Hawkinson. We hardly knew ye. Get a haircut. You know, he's hanging like 11 catches for 230 and 4 touchdowns on us when we play them, right?
You're skipping one. Mitchell is third in the tight end room because there's Shane Zylstra still.
Who?
The other tight end that occasionally catches passes this year.
They call him back up?
I'm pretty sure they will.
Brock Wright, he might be ready by Sunday, but I read that he's in concussion protocol now.
Yep. So we might end up with Shane Zylstra, James Mitchell, and Derek Deese, who's still on the practice squad.
One thing for me, since it wasn't on the pick 'em, Panthers beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati this weekend.
Oh,
I didn't even see that listed. Let me look. Did I skip it?
Well, if they play zone defense, that wouldn't surprise me.
Bengals are in the Carolina at Cincinnati. I did skip it, evidently. I thought we did talk about that.
Our defense,
that's okay.
I don't think Carolina's beating Cincinnati, but that's another story.
I don't either. Even without Jamar Chase and
no, they don't. They did this year's salary as a futures contract. They spread it out over 3 to 4 years. That way it isn't a big hit this year. That's how all these teams do it. They take the year where they don't have a lot of cap and they spread it out as a futures contract. That way it's a little bit of cap over a bunch of years and it doesn't hurt them and put them over the cap. And right now they're in playoff contention, which makes it so the owner can actually do the cash over cap rule where they can spend up to 20% of their profits to sign a player too.
What could we have got from the Jags for Jameson Williams since they wanted to trade for a wide receiver that's not going to play this year? We lose to the Jags because Marvin Jones and Jamal Agnew just bend us over.
Do we think we get do we think we get Jamal Williams back next year? I know his contract's up.
Andrew, we do not get money back. We cleared cap space by getting rid of Hawk. We have $13 million in cap now this season, which is huge. Now we can sign somebody if we want to help the defense, which needs way more work than our offense did. 80% of Hawk's production came in 2 games. The last game and the Seahawks game. That's it.
Both of which we still lost.
The total cap number for this year was $208 million, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So now we're sitting at 13.5, approximately almost 14. So we got right about 195 million spent with the dead cap included.
Right.
And next year, now instead of 18.5, you add that 10 in, we got 28.5. That's almost 30 million. That's huge. Now you got
a really good defensive player.
Right, because when the cap raises, that's going to cover the drafted players, and we can actually use that to actually get a star veteran to fill a role. Whether it's at safety, whether it's at middle linebacker, whether it's another defensive tackle, we can get somebody with that.
Yeah.
Hypothetical, but would anybody be objective to offering Daron Payne a contract because he's a free agent?
Oh, as a free agent? Yeah, because it probably – Daron Payne isn't even in the top of the D tackles this year as far as pressures or tackles. So we could probably get him semi on the cheap and give him a prove-it deal yet.
Yeah.
We already went to the mock drafts too early. I refuse to look at the free agent lists until after Thanksgiving.
Okay, you want me to send you it now?
I'll fight you.
Keegan Eckert. So, do you think we'll with the cap space? Who do you think we can grab in free agency?
Now I agree. Now go look at the list.
Okay, I think the hot trade was a B for the Lions. This offseason will be the first time Brad has any lunch money to burn, and that should improve with the following offseason as well. Yes, 2024, now with that $13 million cleared, and there's going to be some possible rollover, we're looking in between 75 and 90 million in cap room in 2024. That's with Goff on the roster, people.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, the reason why the team isn't built yet, we haven't had money to get star players to fill the voids where we needed the talent.
Although traditionally, every year, like the top 10 teams with the most cap space, 8 of them are not playoff teams. But we just need that money.
Did you guys see that teams were calling Detroit about Jamal Williams trying to trade for him?
I heard it was only the Eagles.
Yeah. Not sure what they offered him, but I think Holmes turned it down. But, whatever.
They turned down a trade for Williams because more than likely they're going to end up re-signing him. Because they're not going to resign Swift at this point.
Yeah, I hope he does come back.
That being said, this has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. Thank you, everyone here. Dom, that some random idiot over there, Jonathan Ray, and Big Dan. It has been a pleasure talking with you, gentlemen. And thank you, Shannon. And my final thought is the same thing I say every night. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts from within. I'm Smokin Jeremy, and we are out.